in it, even without the pause. TSM's able to kind of deflect all of those things, understand when the endurance, the strength needs to be used, and they use it effectively. Power points in the games, the strategy calls for macro play, and picks and bans seem to be fluid every time. It's going to be hard to beat these guys and take them out from undefeated 7-0 in matches. We'll see if Envy can take a game off them here in this match as we get into game 2.
All right, well, they destroyed our Hecarim Rammus comp, Riv.
Yeah.
Some speed being banned out here versus Seraph, but that's actually an interesting wrinkle here on the blue side ban popping up. It is also a jungle ban as well, but I'd have to assume that Vlad is going to be Envy's last ban here. You cannot really afford to give that away on the current patch. And so that brings up some more questions around the jungle. I think that Rek'Sai is a very powerful pick, but I don't know about first pick worthy for TSM. Things like the Aurelia are still available. The Lucian has gone unbanned this time around, as it showed to be not too big of a factor last time around. And I guess my question is answered. Rek'Sai is very much first pick worthy. TSM snagger up.
And they ban the Braum. Probably means Hakuho is going to get his karma with that Rek'Sai first pickup. But Svenskeren playing very strong. Player of the game along with the team last time. So well synergized on those engages. And we're just able to find their in against the poke comp of Envy. What do they start off this time? Defense, support. They can get the karma, play it safe, not showing too much. Could also go to Ninja and play that flex, which is something we see Envy can do as well. Ninja and Seraph share some of these same champion pools, so if they were to go in that and kind of trick TSM that way on the red side here.
Definitely true. You know, being red side does have some advantages. You get the guaranteed counter pick, and you kind of get to choose which one you're going to show first anyway. Ooh, there it is, back right on to the Trundle. You know, it still is. You're going to be confident on that into pretty much any matchup. And they also snag away that Lucian. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people think, just because DoubleLift has continuously been playing it. But as you said, Laud has also been focusing with that champion. And if you do have close quarters combat, Trundle pillars are great for assisting Lucian in, you know, being able to weave in and out of those team fights. As you said, though, the speed was really a big factor in the last game. And Karma has not found herself here. Zillion definitely still available, as well as the Sivir. See what direction they go this time around. Having Lucian, though, you're not going to have a poke comp, so TSM already can scratch that one off the list, and you're not going to go back into the same strategy.
Actually won't get the karma either. Be interesting to see what Haku goes for. Obviously has one of the bigger champion pools in his aggressive play style, but the Braum ban, the karma pickup, and the Swain grab as well for Hauntzer. It's been Swain Aurelia, Swain Aurelia, Swain Aurelia, and then sometimes maybe Fiora.
Back to Swain. Here we go. And Swain, as we said, you know, last game, it's one of those range matchups that you would rather take into Trundle than one of the melee ones, and he can try and get some harassment down on the Trundle if they do end up in standard lanes.
So I'd say, would it be actually on Envy coming out in this game to try and put TSM behind early, or are they safer just trying to play a base early game, keep it neutral, and then take it out of maybe a lane swap?
Yeah, anytime a team does get crushed like that, everyone's like, oh my god, they need to start in the early game, you know, they gotta change stuff up. But honestly, Envy's biggest successes have been when they do take it late game and they play it kind of slow, and they get to the stage where they can use Seraph up in the top lane, you know, push out that minion wave, then try and transfer down to an objective. And I think they should just keep on working with the same strategies that have been successful for them thus far to have the best chance against TSM. I don't think now is the time to drastically change it up.
You see the Graves coming in. Has been a few weeks. First few weeks of the summer split saw Graves, and he's kind of fallen away, but picked up with Nami here for Envy as TSM round out their pick ban.
So some stain for that Lucian lane. Try and sustain through the karma. It looks like Envy definitely do want standard lanes, even though the draft is not even complete right now. I would assume that they were going to go for that. Procxin also locking in that Graves. It is still played a decent amount, has fallen down priority a little bit, but it's going to add some extra damage here for the team fights as they transition, and they're going to need some way to burn down the Swain.
Oh, It's always a scary comp when you know how they're going to initiate, and they're still probably going to get some of those clean initiations. The Ashe arrow coming across now, and Bjergsen is going to be throwing down the Chaos Storm when one of those connects.
Yeah, and I have to say, either Ashe or Jhin, or even kind of Sivir are crucial AD carries for a comp that runs double AP like this, and the two mages that don't really have reliable engage. I mean, yes, they do have the speed up as well from Karma and Flash Rek'Sai on burrows, but the Ashe really is the cherry on top there for TSM.
Yeah.
They have really guaranteed long range engage, and it sets up for an easy unburrow for the Rek'Sai. And then the AP damage comes swarming in after that. It's actually a lot of good control when you have these two mages like Swain and Viktor, which are mid-range, yet can still kind of zone out the AD carries, these two short-range AD carries of Graves and Lucian of Envy. Oh, that's why I actually really like that last pick here from Envy.
Yeah.
In the Cassiopeia. It does add that extra range, as well as the threat of counter engage if she can get a good ulti off.
I was going to say, if they didn't have so much speed last time and they didn't create a poke comp, Cass would have almost been awesome there to get the team feeding into you. And you just ult them here. They're going to try to do it. Seeing that speed is actually gone again, Ninja can stay a bit safer. And maybe he usually plays aggressive, so I don't even want to say that. He could probably just play aggressive on that Cass. Looking to load into game 2 here. Envy has had troubles against the top teams, but can they show well in the early game and hold that lead? It seems to be where they can get aggressive in the game and kind of turn it into their own pace. If they haven't been able to do that, we've seen their opponents quickly take the lead and quickly shut down Envy. We're almost ready to go. Just a quick reminder, you can support your favorite team on Twitter using the hashtag TSMWin or the hashtag EnvyWin, and we'll tally those votes as we get into game number 2 between TSM and Envy. We're about to be on the Rift. The compositions are completely changed. We actually saw TSM run in a double back-to-back same comp yesterday. I think they have so much to run, it actually just scares teams coming into these games, and that's why you should go for comfort. It seems like Envy has done that coming into game 2, and we'll see how it plays out in this best-of-3 series. We are on to the Rift.
Yeah, I'm especially interested to see how this mid lane does turn out, because as we set him up, Ninja's one of these guys that can have player of the game, or he can, go for a really big hero play late and just lose it entirely. Cassiopeia is definitely one of those champions. A high potential for DPS just because of the way the kit is built, kind of as that machine gun mage, similar to Ryze. And the power of her ultimate can be game-changing for those late game team fights. However, she's also fairly squishy. And you can see running the cleanse to avoid an Ashe arrow. Problem is, cleanse is not going to get you out of that unburrow knockup from Sven, and you might make some early visits mid. This invade is going to get a lot of damage on Hakuho if he goes past. He does not walk past, and only gets out with losing his ward. TSM up gold after that kill.
Yep.
Woo. 1 CS for Biofrost.
I actually had the pleasure, TSM rather, of playing against Froggen's Cassiopeia yesterday, and it did take them off guard. We saw one of those games being a loss, and Echo Fox brought it to a 3-game series with game number 1 win. So Bjergsen a little privy to play against that in this week. Like we said, with that cleanse, could catch Bjergsen off guard if Ninja goes hard here. Procxin on the Graves, there's not too much crowd control to enter these lanes for their ganks as they start this one off. Yeah,
and it is going to be that lane swap from Envy, trying to get away from the Trundle Swain matchup. Because I feel like they might actually even seek that Karma Ashe matchup with the sustain from Nami. But it might just be also Lucian short range versus the Ashe and Karma poke. They don't have confidence there. I think the main factor would be that 1 versus 1 though, and they want to get Seraph started off on the right foot this time around. Hauntzer there. One of the good things about Swain in lane swaps, when you want to snag those few CS before you leave, Beatrice helps you out. He did miss one of the melees, but made up for it with a ranged one.
So bot's taken, the red will hit, Svenskeren will get his Raptors, and then give the blue over to Bjergsen if they have the time to do so, and Procxin can't make his way over. We actually see this happening quite a lot with Rek'Sai and mid laners.
Yeah, and Hauntzer's sticking around for a long time once again.
Ooh.
He actually deals a decent amount, but he's going to have to get out of there anyway and use his teleport early once again. He used his teleport early last game, and now he's going to get right back into lane. Whereas Seraph, this entire time, has been double jungling And as a double jungler nowadays, as a top laner, you don't get anything out of it. You just try and help your jungler quickly get through. Because unless you last hit that monster, you don't get anything. Oop, I think he missed the cannon there. That is unlucky.
And the ability of quickly safe farming a few of those minions with Swain puts them so far ahead in this turret take as well. That teleport down, it's not even half right now for Envy. So again, this is almost replicating game one where TSM having a lead in timing, edge, and map control.
Yeah, exactly. You go down the checkboxes. TSM earlier on the turret, they are also ahead as far as the solo matchup, Hauntzer versus Seraph. Because of the time spent double jungling and experience is not shared anymore, there's a gold lead for Hauntzer right out of the gate. There is also an experience advantage for Hauntzer right out of the gate. And TSM feeling very good about the way this one's starting off again.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Actually does not look like Svenskeren was able to get that blue buff. So the 3 goes over to Procxin. Nicely done by him. No time to go back and give it to Bjergsen just yet. We'll see if they can use it though. Like we said, no crowd control coming from this grave, so it may be some time before we see the team group up for an objective and use that, or rely on Seraph getting a very, very good pillar in what could be a counter gank in the top lane.
Yeah, most of this Envy comp is built around counter engagements, and a lot hinges on Ninja and his use of the Cassiopeia ultimate, as we said, because if you're just relying on a Nami tidal wave as your forward moving initiation, then it's a bit iffy there. DoubleLift and Biofrost move in to get some early damage on this turret as well, though, and once again, Envy
there aren't many wards for DoubleLift and Biofrost here, but
well,
it seems like Procxin went for Raptors, unfortunately.
Yeah, the thing is here, Envy, because they're behind in timing this time around, I do like this choice. Instead of continuing on with the lane swaps and like, oh, okay, we're already a few seconds behind, we're going to put a stop to it. We're going to move in to try and defend. Now, they do have a Nami for sustain, but even with that, it's kind of difficult for Seraph to CS under turret, as you can see. And he's going to move in for some of them, but eventually he's going to get whittled down and chunked out. Maybe he'll use his teleport to get back in and continue the defense on this turret. Because down on the bottom side, the opposite situation, Lod there is actually CSing effectively against Hauntzer. Because talk about no vision, Hauntzer has none either, and on Swain it's scary as well.
Procxin returns from the base. Berserker Greaves first buy on his Graves as he continues to smite out his jungle to clear that out as fast as he can, really. Looking to give a little help to the bot lane here, possibly after Gromp, but Lod, like you said, seems to be doing okay by himself.
Yep, Procxin heading down as well. It does get seen by Svenskeren, and it'll just be a little bit of a love tap on the way out. Another little thing for the duo lane of the Nami Trundle is that Seraph is gonna, you'll see him continuously put down the frozen domain, the W for him for Trundle, before Hakuho sets off the heal on Nami, because it'll increase the amount that he gets healed. Trying to sustain is the main issue here for this support top laner duo, and they are just getting pelted with skill shots from the Ashe Karma as poke continues to land. Bjergsen actually moving up for an early dive as the poke is actually taking its toll on the duo lane.
He's only come back with that previous, or just one buy so far, and it looks like the Spidey sense goes off. Hakuho may actually get himself in danger here, but he goes up knowing that Bjergsen walks over a ward to exit. Gives a little bit of free time to Ninja in mid. He's about to wave up now, but things have been played very slow after that first turret take, like you said, compared to game number 1. Envy definitely used that time to figure out what had gone wrong between game 1 and game 2 when they talked to their coach.
Yeah, they are able to slow it down, and with the teleport, Seraph has actually been able to sustain okay and get back under this turret and get some of the CS for himself. So definitely good for Envy to slow it back down and kind of stabilize this game, as at the very beginning of the lane swap, it looked like it was going in the same direction, and they put a stop to it.
7.5 minutes in. Looks like we're gonna have an Ocean Drake for our first. Oh, I'm sorry, that is a Cloud Drake. I missaw.
Yep.
So it will be speed this time, and they don't have all the speed. Go figure. Hauntzer 46 to Seraph's 28. Again, our featured matchup. We just saw it from the first game. Coming up on 10 minutes, looks like Hauntzer's going to have the better of that as well.
Yeah, this is the thing. And now they're swapping it. So Seraph is heading down to try and lane versus Hauntzer at this stage.
Who's got the wave to himself?
Exactly. Frozen right in front of the turret. He's just using his ult to sustain here. And he's waiting for the minion wave so he can just walk it in here and just keep it at this stage.
Yeah.
This is going to cause Envy to... Oh, we even missed that CS. But anyways, this is going to be necessary for Envy to probably call down Procxin. Actually, Procxin's recalling right now, so Seraph is going to have to be very, very scared about going up to that wave. Even though Svenskeren's not here, not going to immediately punish him. Seraph has to be so careful right now. Hauntzer, level 7. This is level 7 Swain. This is more important than tracking gold, by the way. Even though you look at the scoreboard here and the gold's very, very close.
Yeah.
Levels in the early stages are, depending on what champion you have, the equivalent gold value of the stats you get for that level is around 500. There is variation there depending on what champion you are, but it is huge and more important because of the levels that you get to put in your spells than the gold values are. So very scary situation, but without any vision for Hauntzer, he doesn't want to get punished. He's on Swain, no escapes, and he would have to burn flash if they were to collapse on him.
Seems like Envy has resorted to, and it works for them, resorted to almost having a lane instead of assisting it as such, as Seraph kind of pushed up too far with Procxin coming down. They just say, that's going to be all right. I'll play it safe so you don't have to put too many resources into me. And it's actually a way Envy keeps himself around the map here in bad situations to stop the opponents.
And it's actually pretty crucial at this stage in the game for Procxin to not reveal himself to keep Hauntzer honest. But he's coming up top lane here, and Hauntzer is just pushed up all the way to that bottom lane. So Hauntzer's going to try and shove that wave all the way to the turret so that Seraph doesn't get a freeze in answer back and catch right back up. So Hauntzer did get it all the way to the turret, and it will eventually start to push back towards TSM side. So Hauntzer gets to kind of hold on to his little experience lead, or significant experience lead that he does have against Seraph.
Almost going to have that Rod of Ages finished. One more of these pushes into the back, and he'll be stacking up just at 10 minutes as well. Getting these items completed and having turrets to drop is going to mean a lot of stats and even more gold coming into TSM here. Envy holds that 200 gold lead, but like we said, the levels are playing a very big deal, especially if it comes into effect. Right now, it seems like Seraph has been able to keep away from what was a 3-level difference here and continue to level himself up. He is persistent.
All right, Ashe arrow from out of bounds. That was a little wide. Cassiopeia no boots, but can still dodge that, no problem. Hauntzer trying to harass due to the experience advantage, and there come junglers.
He had a lot of minions to fight it, and that was his upper hand there. It almost won him the fight, but he got never moved in and took way too much damage without being able to trade back. A good back and forth as the top laners test each other with a bit of jungle help.
I'm actually curious. I think they recalled because they saw the duo lane, or they didn't continue chasing because they saw the duo lane heading down. Because if it wasn't for that duo lane roam, Bjergsen actually had the early position on mid lane roaming first, and they could have kept chasing in that 2 versus 2. They had the advantage if Bjergsen was able to slow down Ninja and not allow him to enter the fray. But that the duo lane trail from Lot and Hakuho, I think, saved the life of Seraph there.
Are these guys gonna match up? They talk a lot of talk, but nobody's walked the walk between them.
Oh, yeah, they've been exchanging minion kills.
That's true. That's true. Right now, I mean, Lot does mechanics, 112 to 103. We heard differently from DoubleLift. Hauntzer still giving the business to Seraph. It's not going to be easy, but he does get this one to stop in front of his turret.
Yes, that's crucial for him. Plus, things get a lot better once you can get your cowl versus any of these ranged magic harassers. Hauntzer sees, oh my goodness, he's frozen the wave in front of the turret. Let me get back here. Break that real quick and
unfortunate.
Put an end to the freeze. This is probably going to be a dragon though, because they have so much pressure. Seraph's chunked out. He would probably have to go back to base and use his teleport to get in here, but it might even be too late. And TSM should be able to get this Cloud Drake pretty easily.
Abyssal Scepter finished up for Ninja, still stacking his tier. Cole looking close for Lod and DoubleLift actually, as his Ginsu's is finished up. Oh, I'm sorry, Yomu's. BF Sword on the side of DoubleLift as we saw him actually just attempt to kind of feed Bjergsen in mid. Threw the arrow out, just missed Ninja. But that cleanse is there as well. So maybe they're looking for a 1 and then a 2 punch. As they're able to get that cleanse off, they'll return for it.
Yeah, definitely going to keep looking for Ashe arrows. It's back off cooldown, so DoubleLift definitely has the right idea, as Fabi's been demonstrating this week with the Ashe. Get as close as you can, but stay in fog of war so that they have the least amount of time to try and dodge the arrow. Ninja, though, slippery. And they're moving in for another dive, this one on Seraph.
Can subjugate onto Svenskeren. It may be enough to keep him alive. The return of the tidal wave causes Svenskeren to flash now. Summoner spells traded, but no kills will be.
Oh, Bjergsen again got the early roam. And since he had position, Ninja trying to follow gets chunked almost out of lane here. Gonna heal up as best he can with his Twin Fang, though. Gotta poison him first.
Saved his summoner spells. So Bjergsen can't just come back quickly for the kill. But he may be looking for it here. Just a blast to keep him out of range from Ninja's Q. This lane 145 to 144. Ninja keeping up with Bjergsen, but we haven't really had too much action in this lane in both games because of the lane swaps. We just saw the Zillion and the Varus last time. Not much come of it. Now we're gonna have to see if Ninja and Bjergsen can do it for their team this time. Mostly Ninja.
Yeah.
If they can shake off the loss and come out strong now.
Yeah,
Both still very close.
He's definitely going to be a crucial playmaker for the team. Step 1, though, is complete for Envy. This game so much better than the last game for Team Envy.
3 minutes and they had a Nexus turret.
Yeah, they so Envy, you know, putting a stop to the lane swap and putting a stop to the bleeding of objectives this time around, have been able to recover, save for the 2-level discrepancy here in top laners. Gonna try and force it, though, because they have numbers advantage. Hauntzer with a pretty good chunk, and Hakuho nullifies most of it. They're gonna go for it. 4 people from TSM are down river.
That's the long-range arrow. I think they got backed off a little too much. TSM showed a few too many members.
Right through all those minions, though.
Yep.
Yeah, so the arrow passed through mid lane over a couple of wards, and the call was made there from Ninja. Hey guys, arrow's coming down, back off. And so everybody's okay. Nobody takes the bullet.
I guess in general, like the start of that arrow, the sooner they see it, the quicker they have to back off, right? Because they actually can't stay in that range. So even from across the map, you're like, well, I guess this engage is already done, even before it gets there. It's very nicely used.
I mean, I guess you could have some tracking system where Ninja pings the constant movement of the arrow. Ping, it's now here, it's now here,
and they thread it and actually win the fight.
Constant updates. Hauntzer actually.
Ooh, so that's been Svenskaren's flash recently. Hauntzer's flash recently now. TSM seems like they're getting a little too far into Envy's side. It doesn't look like it's gonna stop them though. Now Launch Flash goes down. Whoa! There's Biofrost Flash. It's a flash party. Biofrost stays alive. I don't think we're gonna get any TPs in just yet. No, that was actually Seraph going all the way down in the bot lane, and now he's gonna get turned down from TSM, but they're getting yo-yoed back and forth here. He gave up.
They let him out though.
Yeah.
Very scared of the 4-man team of TSM, even though DoubleLift was all the way across the map and Ashe with no teleport can't join. They were chunked out enough, I guess, for Envy to abandon that call, even though they could have closed it before DoubleLift got there. They didn't have vision on him, and it was a little bit risky, but that was definitely an opening. The reason really is probably being that, as we mentioned, this team that Envy has is much better suited to counter initiate rather than force plays like that. The force would have to be Seraph just pillar spamming until the rest of the team could kind of finagle their way in there, but even so, they don't really have a point man, no good hard engage. So they let him out.
All right. TSM can usually act on when they squeeze their enemies right under their own turret. Whoop. Looks like they may actually get Procxin. There it is. Squeeze them in, force them behind, and pincer them.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how many arrows you airball early game if nobody fights after them. The one that matters is the one right down mid lane. First blood acquired, and it went to Bjergsen nonetheless. Team solo mid cashing in. And that's going to be money well spent for him. Want to upgrade that Hex Core. You want to get that to max level as soon as possible, so your extra speed on the Chaos Storm can chase people down. He's already got the Rylai's, so that becomes very scary. Extra speed on it, plus slow being applied.
Such good synergy in just one item for Viktor. See him crush down. Bjergsen, seen him go for a few attacks on Ninja. That one gets stolen by Sven.
Svenskeren special here.
Yep.
The full tank Rek'Sai. Your auto attacks don't help taking the blue buff that much. You don't need to do that. Everybody else has plenty of damage to take care of it. Usually I'm on the jungler's side for these things, but you're not helping. And well, denied Bjergsen the blue again.
Don't turn on your people, Kobe. They'll be mad. They'll be mad. Coming up onto 20 minutes, only one kill in this game. Envy playing much safer, but still looking for openings. TSM, we've seen multiple arrows fly by. That's going to be up, and DoubleLift is coming straight up the lane. It does not look like they'll go for one right here. They want to get close. Oh. As you said, they do. There's the cleanse onto Ninja.
Yep, gonna get out of that one, but cleanse down, and they'll time the summoner. TSM give them space. This is just another win. Cloud Drake, excuse me. But Envy are gonna go in and take it up, it looks like. But
just
giving a position on mid lane, I mean, giving a turret, oh, okay, they do cut off the minion wave. So at least they won't give a mid turret, but it's still gonna be top turret. And I don't like giving a mid-game secondary turret. Extra gold at this point is worth so much. As well as the map control. If you're the team with Ashe, that's great for TSM. I guess you can say Envy are counting on, hey, this Cloud Drake is going to give us the out-of-combat move speed to dodge the next arrow. If that is the case, and that extra tiny bit of move speed actually enables them to dodge the arrows, then it will be worth it.
Like Zyrene was talking about this earlier before, is in the fights where you go down, and how did he catch me? It's 405 to 409. Oh.
Seraph actually, no move speed gonna help him as he's in combat, but he's just gonna walk right out as Trundle. Bjergsen wants to chase him.
That's the Chaos Storm. They finish it off. It looked like he actually had a good path out there when he denied some of the vision, but Bjergsen just AoE. I'll find him with the AoE.
He had hope. Getting over the wall. Trundle just wanted to get back home, and Bjergsen dashes his dreams. The second kill also going over to the mid lane here. Bjergsen being set up very well to deliver that team fight damage, and he has been able to upgrade max level Hex Core plus the Rylai's. Will be very, very tricky to deal with. Looking to get that extra arrow in while the cooldown on cleanse is up, but Ninja again able to dodge it out.
TSM again controlling the map, and like Envy looks like he'll get half health. They look to answer though. This is when the timer gets a little behind for them, and they're trying
door number 2
trying to act on everything. When TSM gets a chance to react, they're always on the right end of the play, and that's going to be Lod and Hakuho going down as they only get half health in the second tier.
Yeah, looking pretty rough once again in the early Baron calls here. This is a 21-minute Baron, by the way. Versus Echo Fox, this cost them. They do have 2 people killed on Team Envy, though, so things looking very good. They're burning through it. This is going to be up to a miracle steal from Graves. You know, Procxin can try and fire the ultimate in, or even send his body in. He does have flash. Vision. They can go for the steal.
Ninja gets there. Does nobody have a ward?
Smite fight!
Ninja, put your ward in. You have a Farsight.
They're just taking it. Wait.
There it is! Oh, he doesn't get it. They put it in at the last second so they can't kill the Farsight. But they still don't get it. Procxin goes down immediately before he can flash out. And TSM do secure the 22-minute Baron this time.
Yeah. All right, well, this was Envy trying to make up for lost time. You know, they're like, oh my God, we lost our bottom turret. We need to make up for it. Turret on the top side, but hand caught in the cookie jar here as Sven and Bjergsen come to cut them off. And that's what set up the entire Baron situation. TSM running away with this game as well, and they are not letting this series even look close. Envy, they did have kind of a soft schedule to start it out, and so they were at the top of this. Oh no, you hate to see that. Lod will be able to get away with the flash though.
Oh, he doesn't want to give up. He's going to have to. They're just being persistent because they can at this point.
That culling in the direction that you want to run is just like, let me go that way. Does get out, though.
I'll just put these guns down.
Yeah. But, yeah, things going from bad to worse now for Envy as the Baron buff allows TSM to accelerate the pace of the game. It was already extremely quickly going in their favor, but now they're going to be able to get that split push rolling with Hauntzer up top and the rest of the four-man squad whittling down this mid lane turret, maybe even setting up for another dive.
They're pinching in, actually. Hauntzer was just about to back, but they said, we have a good wave coming in. Yeah, the inhibitor turret is open, which means mid is going to be free now for Bjergsen and DoubleLift to take, as they won't find really any resistance other than Ninja. But unfortunately, they're baroned up, so they can't get any closer because of the cannon minion.
Yeah, that's
walk away, let it get closer, then approach it.
Spicy meatball.
Problem solved.
Seraph's going for it.
According to Kobe, things are getting saucy, and Lod's going to be the first one in. There's Azanias there, so they can't really approach too much. Hauntzer's going to throw the ult on with Azanias, and he'll be perfectly fine. That kill is going to be, or rather turret in the mid lane, I should say.
Oh, look at those hops.
Oh, high five, Procxin, oh, the dog caster minions. Pew pew. Caster minions.
Look how big the projectile from a Baron empowered caster minion is. That thing taking down Procxin, and TSM making it look easy. 24 minutes in. War on two fronts successful inside the inhibitor turret.
And they are going to have the first inhibitor in the mid lane, but they have all the pressure towards the top side. TSM, they like to stay for the long haul. We see them inside their enemy's base quite often for an extended period of time. Here it looks like they'll give a little bit more respect. Dragon in 30, don't want to give anything like that up, and they already have waves pushed up in their favor, so they have time to get back and breathe.
Yeah, that Infernal Drake is TSM property as far as Summoner's Rift is concerned. And just a matter of time. Svenskeren gonna steal away that as well. All your jungle belong to Sven, except for those two.
He's a sharer and a carer.
I wonder how many people even still get that reference. It's a little old, a little bit dated.
All your base?
Yeah.
It is. Pepperidge Farm, remember.
Oh well. We are dated. All right, there's the Infernal Drake. Welcome home, my friend. The TSM Infernal Drake.
Yeah.
Your sacrifice is appreciated. And Team Envy will need to pray to some other god, because they are not being heard at the moment. No kills for themselves. They do have two turrets, so it's not a two turrets and a Cloud Drake, so it's definitely not a perfect game. But it's looking like it's going to get a little bit rougher for Seraph. He might end up having to try and pull a sneaky teleport to get out of here. Otherwise, he's dead.
Ooh, just outside of the gravity field. Subjugate onto Bjergsen. But three's a crowd, and Seraph thinks so too. He goes down. 40 seconds on the death timer for him. TSM get more free time on the map now, 5v4.
Yeah. At this point, we
really
got
can't be
to
stopped.
start thinking about what this means for the rest of the league.
Yeah.
Envy was lauded as a contender here, you know, trying to push up into the upper echelons of the North American LCS, and they definitely have done an admirable job, especially as a new team, separating themselves from the rest of the North American LCS. But TSM just seems to be in a league of their own.
Yep. Even above Immortals now, who say that they're having troubles because everybody in the league is getting better, and that's where some of these teams actually need to look to now, is the second half. See where the troubles were in the first half of the split and figure out how to right those wrongs. Bjergsen, very, very low, gets knocked up. Seraph can get on him and bite, and it's actually going to be the kill going over Ninja, who's very low. There's a kill coming in for Lod. Hakuho, or rather Biofrost, strikes back. Sven on the outside, really just toying, looking for a bait, but Envy knows their priority target. They know who they're going to focus. The flash from Hauntzer dodges the end of the line coming in from Procxin, and it's a huge amount of damage because that would have killed Hauntzer, taking away a lot of the damage that TSM's fighting with right now. The tight plays that TSM is making is throwing Envy for a loop.
Well, they got on the board. At least Envy got some morale boosts from the kills on Bjergsen and DoubleLift. They took down the carries. However, Hauntzer, with the constant shields from Biofrost, just stays up so ridiculously long. Bjergsen positions really far forward there, and then it's honestly one of the rare mistakes we see from him, but he gets punished very heavily. Nice job from not only the miasma from Ninja ensuring he can't get out, but also that bubble landing on top. Hakuho recognizing it was easy to land, and Envy, the only problem now is taking down the Swain that still has Zhonya's. There's the shield as well from Bio, and that is the turn for them. However, the damage was done. TSM, their main objective was already accomplished, taking out that inhibitor. So 2 inhibitors down means they have a lot of pressure to work with. Oh!
Procxin going down. And Svenskeren right back in the mix. You see this Rek'Sai all over, and we don't really talk about the map control too much, but the way Svenskeren, or the way you can play in the lead, is you have tunnels everywhere, and you and the team are right back in the mix when you need to be. You can see DoubleLift has already put the Wrath Potion on, so he's trying to do a bit more damage as they get the last bit of resources. Even Ninja has put the gold into the elixirs here as it's getting to be that time at the end of the game.
Yeah. We haven't really been checking in on the items just because 10,000 gold lead here for TSM.
Right.
And soon to be Baron buff. Let's see if there's some kind of miracle. And nope. Ninja's not even going to try and go over there. So TSM Baron going to join TSM Infernal Drake. And 1 inhibitor stands.
It's like they know where to go.
Yeah, not for long though.
It's all by the book now. 1 last turret to go down, something to fight around, something to squeeze Envy closer in. Get that wombo combo in. We've seen Svenskeren getting his flash engages. That's not going to be the one. And it might just be an arrow over the shoulder of his teammates as DoubleLift peering into the eyes of Envy. May look to have it connect as this inhibitor turret goes down. Doesn't really have a priority target, so they're going to go ahead and walk it through until Envy gives them one.
All right, last ditch effort here from Envy. They're going in.
Hauntzer more than likely to try and fight that. Hakuho on the back, not huge to be hit by the arrow, and you can see Envy still somewhat want to take this fight. Running for the fountain, they're going to look for the home guards to get back, but they use every bit of HP now, and TSM's able to drain that to 0. Along with the inhibitors, all 3 are down. Actually, the mid one spawns back up as the Nexus turrets are going to be going down soon. TSM looking to pad the stats a little bit and get those fantasy points in for their fantasy friends. 30 minutes on the clock, 13-4. TSM very close to closing out game 2 with a few more touches on the Nexus. I believe 50 gold goes to DoubleLift as TSM take down Envy 2-0.
And in a very convincing fashion at that. This is why everyone ranking TSM, not only because of the scoreboard at #1 in the North American LCS, but the way that they destroy their opponents and have destroyed their opponents.
Yeah.
You know, this split, summer split, has been TSM split so far. You know, Immortals did give them a run for their money. Cloud9 was able to make a good showing versus them, but Team Envy are going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Solo-wise, it seems like things can play out each time for them. You know, we see Ninja having pretty solid lanes coming up on CS in the late game over Bjergsen, but still faring well there. Our top lane matchup, it seemed to be a little more lopsided in the way that TSM provided more resources for Hauntzer. They offered him more, and it actually kind of made Seraph have to think more, do the shot calling, and he was still pressured by TSM because they weren't going to let him have time to breathe, think, blink.
Yeah, even just a small change that TSM made where they are like, you know what, Hauntzer, you can stay in the lane in the 1 versus 2 and snag as many minions as you can before they pressure you out. We'll allow you. Go ahead, use your teleport super early, down to the bottom side, join us then. And that lead that they got him in both games out of the lane swap was a big part, you know, of the early game and why they had priority on almost all of the rotations because they have this big advantage, this big experience difference between the two.
As well as for getting the swaps early, making sure first Dragon was there. As we said, the way it played out, Ocean, Mountain. Like, that was perfect for them in the combination they got. But a game 1 like that is going to hurt the mentality coming into game 2. We already thought it would be difficult for Envy. But looking at their side, as I said previously, just kind of back of the story, Immortals, Pole Belter said, all teams are getting better. Everybody's learning from each other. And I think that's where Envy kind of need to look forward now, see where what the other teams are doing in the early game. How does TSM grab those advantages with almost not even going to lanes, just allowing people to farm more, giving solo experience and things like that.
And then that advantage cascades down through the rest of the
Exactly.
game. I got another word instead of snowball for it yet. And TSM are able to use that through the mid game. Once they get to that point too, they don't let up. Like the pushing from TSM after that midway point was very, very scary for Envy. And even though Ninja only died very end of the game, there wasn't a big opportunity for him to make a big turnaround.
Once TSM sink their teeth in, it seems like there's no way out of it for their opponents, and that's the way it went down again for Envy as TSM take the win. And before we get into the replays, let's go down to stage side where Zyrene has TSM